Hey there. I wanted to come on here. This is controversial, probably not going to be popular, but I got to say it. I've been asked this question several times over the last couple of weeks, especially as this topic of student loan relief has been talked about. And I want to tell you, it is a terrible idea, absolutely terrible idea. And I'm going to give you 4 reasons why I think that. And I know that, as a matter of fact. So, number one is if you're going to relieve student loan debt, you're really just treating the symptom and not the problem. Now, the problem here is the cost of higher education. That's where we need to focus our attention. Just letting people write off their loans is not going to really do anything to lower the cost of college education. It's like if you are an athlete and you tear your ACL in your knee, you don't take Motrin for the rest of your life. You don't treat the symptom. You go to the doctor and you fix your ACL. So it's not a problem. We need to fix and lower the cost of a college education. Statistic, according to US News, in the last 20 years, the cost of a college education for an in-state public school, so not some crazy, highfalutin, fancy private school, an in-state public school, the increase in cost has been 175%. That's unacceptable. That's what we need to fix. All right, number 2. So the whole goal of this is people are having trouble paying their bills, right? So we want to help them be able to pay their bills, etc. If we want to do that and be more fair about this, and we're going to relieve any debt, let's relieve medical debt. How about that? Let me give you some stats to back that up. 66.5% of personal bankruptcies are due to medical debt. 66.5%. That's crazy. 17% last year, 17% of adults that had medical debt either declared bankruptcy or they lost their home. How about we help those people out? If we're going to help anyone out, let's help them out, right? They didn't choose cancer. Cancer chose them. Which leads me to point number 3, student loans. These students signed up for these. And by the way, this impacts the Biz family, okay? We've got 2 in college. We've got one that's out of college now that has student loan debt, and we have another one that's in college. So this impacts us. But as a student, you signed up for these loans. You made a promise that you're going to pay back this debt. How is it different than a mortgage or a car loan, et cetera? You knew what you were getting into when you signed the papers. Honor your commitments. Why should we allow that to be relieved? I don't think that's fair. Speaking of fairness, how is it fair for someone who is a taxpayer who did not go to college have to pay for some of this, to have some of their tax dollars? Let's say you work in a trade and you never went to college and you're not going to get student loan debt relief. Why should you have to foot the bill for someone who did go to college? What about people like, I don't know, me? I had student loans a long time ago. I paid them all off. You're going to cut me a check too? Of course not. This is why this is going down a really bad rabbit hole. And the 4th thing I'll mention is why I think paying back or relieving student loan debt is a terrible idea. Colleges are part of this, okay? Not only with what I mentioned before about the high costs and how the costs have increased so significantly. Think about this. There are 15 schools, 15 universities in the United States that have endowments that are greater than $1 million per student. They're sitting on that money. Now, again, some of that goes to infrastructure, things like that, but nonetheless, they're sitting on that money. And yet they're still charging these exorbitant charges for a college education. In fact, even going further, there are 134 universities in the United States with endowments that are greater than $1 billion. So you have all these colleges sitting on crazy amounts of money, yet they're still charging all this money for a college education. Terrible idea. We should not be doing this. And that's 4 reasons why. I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts on this. I'm sure some people aren't going to like this, but tell us in your comments. I'd love to hear about it, and let's debate this. Let's make it happen.